Greetings, hello, salutations. I'm doing this. It's an AMA. It's an aliens masticate anonymously. It's what we do. We just chew, and no one knows who we are, what we're doing, and why we're chewing. It's who we. Alpacas masturbate autonomously. That's not the thing. It's not what we're doing. Shut up. Sheesh. Okay. I'm going to have a lot to edit. I'm not going to edit at all. I'm going to edit very little. It's just what we're going to do here. So welcome. Hey. Greetings. Salutations. I don't know. It's like salutations. Salutations to all of you. Is that where that word comes from? I don't know. Salutation. It has to, right? Like salute. So I have 10,000 people who like to like read the nonsense that I don't know if they like it. I don't know if anyone even sees it. I can't really say that. That seems like a lie. It's a lie that I'm saying. I'm just gonna perpetuate that lie forever. How many people actually read my tweets? Like 5? 12? Maybe I get 12. I don't know. 10,000 people followed me. It's so cool. It's the craziest thing that's ever happened to me as a human person. I mean, like, I guess I don't know, maybe not, because they're all just kind of like nebulous. Like, I don't really see any of you. Like, I see some of you. I don't mean to see none of you. I'm not gonna like dismiss the ones that I see. I do have the chirpy circle of like my Dunbar number has grown. Like, I know a bunch of you. And I like so many of you. I hate some of you. Hate you. No, I don't. I don't actually hate anyone. I don't follow anyone I hate. That would be stupid. Who does that? I mean, a lot of people do that, obviously. Like, a lot of people are just like, hate following on Twitter. Not what I do. I do follow a lot of people back, and I don't know all of you. I know some of you. I know a lot of you. I can name many of your faces. But I'm here. I'm here now, and I'm just like I'm kind of honestly, sincerely, like I've been drinking. I have this peanut butter porter that I've just like torn down, just chugged back, thrown back, like bottoms up. That's the thing. Shush. Not gonna judge myself during this. This is the whole point of what we're doing, right? That's why we're doing this. But so I'm here today to celebrate reaching 10,000 followers on Twitter, which is something that is like astronomical. Like it's pretty, like it's absurdly, it's surreal. It's if you have been following me, which I mean a lot of you have been just recently following me, but if you've known me at all on social media, you've seen that I've gone from no engagement whatsoever, just like whispering into the void, like the emptiness, to actually having friends and talking to people and having interactions with people that are fulfilling in some meaningful way. Even when it's ridiculous, because I tend to stay mostly light on social media, guys, because the truth is I'm a severely depressed human person, and I prefer as much as I can to just like not let that werewolf take over, and I live in the silver lining, because that's like the only weakness it has. It's just like I'm gonna do my freaking best. I don't always succeed. I fail pretty often. Occasionally I'll write something like ridiculously like divisive personally, emotionally, and I'll be like, oh, why did I do this to myself, and now I'm feeling stuff, and I put that out there, and I'm just like, oh geez, whoops, sorry, I hope people identify slash, like, I don't want you to relate. It's so weird. Isn't it weird, like, when you write something and you're like, do I want people to relate to this? I don't know, because if they relate to this, that means they've suffered in a similar way that I've suffered, and I don't think that's a good thing, but I guess it's better than them suffering in silence, or like suffering, in anonymity, or like isolation, like feeling as if no one else can identify with the thing that they are going through. So yeah, sometimes I get freaking dark and weird and silly, and I don't know, like I'm thankful that I've been able to kind of like nudge my way and like be like like I wouldn't say I get to like necessarily spread my human wings. It's not a thing. Humans don't have wings. Shut up. But like I don't get to like stretch. Like I don't feel as if I'm like Like I don't think I'm like Mr. Fantastic in that I can extend my reach as you know in every direction on Twitter. I do kind of limit my scope to a specific spectrum of human experience in hopes of you know having other people relate to me or identify with me and like just kind of like laugh with me through the absurdity of everything. But you know, that being said, I do feel like I get to extend more than I expected. Like I you know I don't feel like I have to release some sort of like excessively censored like cookie cutter very anesthetized version of myself. I get to just be whatever I want, and people are like either you know they hate me and they you know block me or whatever, or they're here and like thank you, and I you know I'm very freaking thankful, and I don't I think I say that probably too much. Like I don't know. I don't mean to be like the like hokey like I'm so thankful for all my people and just like turn the SpongeBob all the time. But like it's true. Like I'm thankful that anyone cares at all. That being said, I got to 10,000 followers, which was I don't know. It's amazing. I've traditionally never been someone who cared about social media. I like many of you, I'm sure I got on social media hoping to find an audience for the things that I write. That thing in particular. Like I was like, I'm writing a novel and I need people to read it. And like if no one exists, then no one's gonna read it. So I have to like create a world in which, you know, like people are there for me. So I was like, I can show you my book. And you were like, we don't care. And I was like, oh, give me like 4 years. And you're like, no. I was like, give me like 6 years. And you're like, maybe. And I was like, I'm gonna keep writing stuff. And you're like, I'll eventually listen if you talk to robots enough. And I was like, okay, fine. So I did. But anyway, so now we're here, and there are 10,000 people who, at the very least, have said yes to following me when they could have said no, and I'm very thankful for that. So, because of that, we are celebrating by doing a drunken AMA, and I don't know if you could tell already, like I'm pretty buzzed. I get when I drink. I like I don't know. I'm just like everyone else. I have the whole spectrum of potential experiences in which you know I can become like verbose and loquacious and like you know like fun, ridiculous, and outgoing in some way, or I can become like needlessly, excessively, absurdly, and just like devastatingly introspective. Or I could toe the line between both. I don't know. But I'm almost shut up. I'm done with that one. I've had. Okay, so what I did, I pre-gamed this. I was editing the podcast. I'm a very frustratingly productive person. Like I don't mean to be like waking like what I don't even want to do it. No, I'm sorry. But I'm like, yeah, I don't mean to be like, you know, like hustle and bustle and all of that. And I don't judge anyone who isn't that way. But I do tend to live on the like productive side of things whenever I can. You know, like I recognize opportunity cost, and it's just like this whole memento mori, like I'm totally gonna die one day and I want to do stuff before I do, and oh my gosh situation. And not that I necessarily identify or like define my entire life by the productivity, but since I'm here, I would like to do something. And as such, I get stuff done whenever I can, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying. So today I was like, I have to edit this podcast. I have to do the whole freaking thing, and I did it. But I was also drinking, so like, forgive me for this episode. It's the episode. Like, if you watch my podcast, or if you watch We Have Issues, it's I don't know, every once in a while it gets a little like weird and personal, and I talk too much. And I mean, obviously, I'm like right now I'm just like all by myself in my room talking to whoever is going to listen to this or watch this. I don't know. I don't plan on editing much of this, if any of this. I don't care. I just I'm thankful that anyone watches. But like the episode that I just edited, I talked at like somewhat at length about a situation that I've never talked about before, and it was a bit nerve-wracking. I was just like, here are my racks, and it was just like full of nerves. How do you hang nerves? You know, I guess like you need a particular type of rack. Anyway, so but yeah, so I boom, like I drank and I edited and like it was fine. I've never really, not never, I don't know, maybe I have drank when I edited before, but almost never, because I have to do it very specifically, like very quickly. I have to be as efficacious as possible. Is efficacious a necessary word? Shouldn't it just be effective? Efficacious. I guess you can use that in like other contexts and it's appropriate. Anyway, I don't mean that. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna like be a word guardian or anything. I don't. Who fucking cares? I remember like David Foster Wallace was like, "Don't ever use utilize, use." And I was like, some people like utilize. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't try to. I don't know. I guess I do it to myself. We probably all are, we're all our worst critics and such. However, I have to do an AMA and I'm going to get to it right now. I'm going to go and I'm going to find all of the questions and I'm going to answer them in order. I'm probably going to pull them up so I can do this all at once together and we're going to figure it out. Let's do it. Okay, so I pulled up all the questions on Twitter, and I'm going to read through them. I will say the names. I'm going to slur through it and just do what I can. Here we go. So, number 1. Tatted Moon. Graceful Wrath asked, do you think they will find anything on the Curse of Oak Island? Now, okay, I don't know what the Curse of Oak Island is. I do know a little bit now. I Googled it previously, and I, like, from what I can remember, they have something like 9 seasons of this reality show. So they have something like 9 seasons of this reality show in which people are searching for treasure. Like it's like a Goonies reality show where they're like, we're gonna find something, I promise. And 9 seasons in, I'd imagine that at this point they're either like they found something that they're like, oh, that's how we afforded the next 8 seasons, or they're like, they're like everyone who scratches a scratch off ticket where they're like, it's bound to pay off eventually, right? Like the odds are ever in our favor that like we'll get one. Like we have to get one. If we keep digging on this island, we're going to find one thing. I imagine that like they've already either found something, but if you're asking, do you think they will find anything on the Curse of Oak Island? I don't. You know what? Yes, I do. You want to know why I do? Because I think that they're going to do whatever it takes in order to make TV. Like, I think that the producers will literally lie to you. So whatever happens, they're going to find enough of something to justify creating new seasons, and it's going to just live on in perpetuity as long as people are willing to watch. And that's just how reality TV works, and it's very smart. I'm jealous. Basically, like, for me, I'm like, I have a podcast, and I'm like, I'll keep creating content as long as there's breath in my body. And it was like, oh man, this is like, what am I doing? I have to keep throwing myself into these random situations, like hoping people care, and they don't care. No one cares. There's no treasure. Everything's treasure, and nothing is treasure at the same time. So yeah, I think they'll find something, and what they'll find is anything that'll keep your interest or attention or just money on their product. So yes. So Fanny T. Crispin, Fanty C. Books asked, I never know what to ask. I depend on talkers who spill their guts willingly. If Atlas were a girl, what would be a day in the life for both of you besides semi-autobiographical comic? Okay, so like the first question is, if my son were a girl, how would our lives be different? Truth is, wouldn't be different. Like I have previously in Anthony's life, I raised a wonderful human girl person, and we did all of the same stuff, and it was all fantastic. And pretty much I just, we play games, we do activities, we play video games, we do video game activities, but like we go places, we do all that. Like nothing would really change with the exception of like once they get to the teen years, I start thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna have to have a different type of talk with you, and it's just slightly different, but it's different enough that I'm like, I don't have these experiences, and I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna figure it out, but it's fine. Like really, not much different. So besides semi-autobiographical comic books, what genre do you prefer to write? I like to write. Okay, my favorite thing to write is like this thing. My favorite thing in the whole world to write is ridiculous fiction that is subtextually very personal, so like I'll write something that's just like full of monsters or mayhem and like magic and ridiculousness, but like subtextually overall the theme of the work or like the tone of the work will reference something that was very personal to me. And like I like to explore the various things that I've gone through and experienced in my life in a subtle way. Obviously, the semi-autobiographical time drive graphic novel musical was not so subtly about my life, but normally that's what I do is I take something specific from my life, like a breakup or like whatever it may be, and I throw it through the lens of a genre, and I play with it, and it's fun, and I love that, and that's my favorite thing to do is really write like kind of fun, high concept genre pieces that have a deeper meaning to them and are just significant in some way to me that wouldn't necessarily be necessary for the reader to experience, to appreciate the work as a whole, but would benefit anyone who would take a deeper look at the work. So that's the kind of stuff that I really like to write, is things that like have more of a meaning behind them, but aren't necessarily like, it's not necessarily to peek that far behind the curtain in order to appreciate the work. I like that stuff. I like when there's a fun spectrum or like elevation of like a potential appreciation. I like that. So that's what I like to write. Let me see what's next. Ray Kennedy wrote, "Why haven't you asked me to be on your podcast yet?" Okay, listen, here's the thing. Oh, I hate saying here's the thing. I say it all the time. It's such a crutch. I love Ray. I love Ray. Ray is the only person that I would ever like 100 of her posts in a row. Like simultaneously, I will go through and just be like, I will ignore all of Ray's posts just so I can, once every couple of months, just like 100 in a row. You want to know why? Because she's a fantastic human person. She's a great writer. She's hilarious. She's very clever, and she is just a full ass. Like, not like she has a big ass. She probably does. I don't know. I've never asked or seen it. I'm like, I don't know. But I'm assuming like Ray's great. But geez, I'm drunk. That's the whole point of this. But no, but I love Ray. Like, sincerely, like appreciate Ray as a human person, and like I would love to have her on our podcast. We, as a podcast, if you've watched our podcast, you know that we don't often have guests on our podcast, and when we do, it's very rare. And when we do, it's either someone who is like Steve Urena, who's like a comic book person, who's like in the genre that's most significant to the podcast specifically, or a fan of the podcast like Michelle, Steven's wife, was on the podcast. Tina, I'm sorry, I'm burping. Please excuse me. I've drank a fair share now. But what I'm trying to say is, because I'm foolish and I don't try, like, I hate myself. Like, no, I don't hate myself. That's not fair. I shouldn't say that. I don't actually hate myself. I like myself. It's just that, like, I don't trust. What is it? Why would I not have Ray on the podcast already? Why have I not asked Ray to be on the podcast already? Part of it is probably because I'm just like, like insecurities, where I'm just like, I don't know, like, do you want to be on the podcast, Ray? Like, clearly now I'm like, you do. Like, I know we're friends, but like, I'm never sure. I'm truly, sincerely never sure who likes the stuff I do. I do this ridiculous stuff, and I like it. I do. Like, I wouldn't do it otherwise, so like, I appreciate like the ridiculousness that I come up with, but I'm never really sure like who wants to be identified as like someone who would be on this thing. And like, there are some people like Frosted Tips, like the guy, he's like, let me be on your podcast. I'm like, I do want you on my podcast. I like you, but you're too good looking and I don't appreciate it. Like, get out of here. But there are some people who I'm like you just want to be on any podcast, but like Ray, I feel like, is my friend, and I would like to spend time with her. So the reason I haven't asked you to be on my podcast is, honestly, we just don't have a lot of guests. And when we do have guests, it's usually because something bad is happening, like Steven got sick, or like I'm just depressed, so I can't think of anything that I really want to talk about, because like everything that I'd like to talk about was probably too dark or too weird, or just like unacceptable to talk about because it's inappropriate in some fashion or would hurt someone in some way to discuss. So I don't talk about it. So what I do is I get a guest on the podcast. I'm like, tell us about yourself so I don't have to talk about me. All right. Because otherwise it's just like me talking about myself and hoping Steven can help me with my life. But yeah, that's why, Ray. I love you, and like I 100% will have you on the podcast. Why would I not? I like you. So let's see what's next. This is gonna be super long because I'm gonna ramble. The bad thing about drinking, you see, is like I'm already not a person who cares about being concise, and I'm not concerned whether or not. Actually, in fact, the more I ramble, the less people will watch the embarrassing things that are like bound to come. Right? Like if you've made it this far in this thing, and I'm only like 3 questions in. Okay, let's see where this goes. So, Pixie asks, next on stage 1. So, at next on stage 1 asks, what is your favorite song to strip to? Okay, now, I have a lot of songs that I love to strip to. Like I can name the top 5. I'm just kidding. I've never stripped in my life. But if I were going to strip, if I had to strip, it'd probably be like it would have to be something like ironic, like turn around every now and then I get a little bit lonely. It would have to be something weird, like don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? Like it would have to be, for Daniel's sake, maybe I'll say like I don't know. I've never. I mean, there are the obvious like pour some sugar on me, like those kind of songs. But I don't know. Like if I had to strip to anything, what would it be? I've never even considered it. Maybe like Kings of Leon's "Texas on Fire." Like I can't it's not like a sexy dance song, but it's still like it gets me going. It makes me feel like I can do this. I can show you my fire. So I'm gonna say "Texas on Fire," Kings of Leon / everything else I just said. I don't remember. So let's see. Daniel asks if you and Steve or at Dan Q writes thing asked. If you and Stevie had to hunt vampires with one person on writing Twitter, who would it be and why? Now, this feels like a loaded question. Like, I feel like Daniel knows that I would choose him. Like, I probably would, is the thing. But because he said it that way, I'm going to say, let me think. Who am I? I mean, honestly, probably Paige. Like, just because, I feel like no matter what, even though... no matter what happens, I feel like I can get Paige K. Turner, and she would just be like, "I'm not gonna let a vampire kill these people," and she would just help us in any situation, which is great. Complicated, sure, but I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna get fanged in my eyeballs because she's gonna help out. So I'd probably choose her. Otherwise, yeah, Dank Wrights thing, thank you Wrights thing, would be probably really high up on the list because we love him. So let me see. Okay. All right. I'm looking for next question. Okay. Oh, geez, I skipped ahead. What did I do? Oh no, I messed up. Let me see if I can fix it. Oh, I did fix it. Okay. So Liz writes. Sorry. Liz writes asks Scarlett Johansson, Sandra Bullock, Halle Berry, or Selma Hayek. Now, I mean, at different points in my life, I would say any one of these people. This is insane. This is a really, okay. So Sandra Bullock, I'm gonna throw out of there. I like Sandra Bullock. I do. I appreciate Sandra Bullock. Like speed Sandra Bullock level. I am on board with speed Sandra Bullock. There's a lot. I appreciate her miscongeniality, Sandra Bullock. I appreciate. There's a lot about Sandra Bullock I not interested as far as what I'm assuming how I'm interpreting this question is who would I like to marry / bang? Am I gonna what do I okay, but what I'm gonna say is my whole life, I have had a huge crush on Scarlett Johansson. Since we previously in Anthony's life, I love Scarlett Johansson. Oh my gosh, she's so cute in Ghost World, and she's so cute in Lost in Translation. She's so cute, and she's beautiful. She's amazing at everything. She's amazing in everything. Just everything she's been. Doesn't matter. Halle Berry, equally gorgeous human person. Selma Hayek, though, I'm gonna just okay. if your question is like who does your like body, who are you like, I'm gonna throw myself into that Sarlacc pit, like it's gonna be Selma Hayek, because like, have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn, like that snake dance and From Dusk Till Dawn? I like, yeah, like since I was a freaking child, like I was like, that awakened everything in me. Are you kidding me? Like snake dance From Dusk Till Dawn, and then you have the dance in Dogma, the I Want Candy dance that she does, like the ABC, like, are you kidding? Like, and then sell like every, oh, and then she was in Frida, oh, God, there's just everything Selma Hayek has ever done. Like she is like an established woman who is just gorgeous in every possible way. I'm gonna go with Selma Hayek, because like I like traditionally, like as a kid I would have gone with like Scarlett Johansson all day, because she was at the time more like my like, I'm punk rock, like I'm indie rock and like all an alternative type person. Don't talk to me. Like I would have gone with like Scarlett Johansson, but like looking back on it and thinking like, if I had to be stuck in a desert island with one person, and like the assumption was that at some point we were going to be like, oh, let's have those adult times, like I'm gonna land on Selma Hayek every time if I can. Like I'm gonna be like, oh, like just like I'm gonna go spelunk, like nope, I'm gonna get this is the drunk. That was a question and I answered it. Okay, let's see. Gene Brown at Gene C. Brown asks, what is a career path you considered at some time in your life that is completely different from what you're working toward now? So, when I was a kid, I used to just tell people I'm going to be a teacher. I went to college, and basically just took all of the prereqs to become a teacher, because I was like, if I'm going to do anything, I want to do the thing that gives me the summers off so I can write books and so I can draw and so I can do things, because I'm sure, like many of you or like many people, I was never supported in a way that made me feel like it was a good idea to follow my dreams. I was like, growing up, I never thought I should make movies. I never thought I should make comics. I never thought I should write a book. It was always like, I would like to make movies. I would like to make comics. I would like to write a book, but it feels irresponsible because of all these things that I'm hearing from everyone in my life. So the thing that I defaulted to was, I'm going to be a teacher because I like kids. I like learning. I like teaching. You know, when I do know something, I like passing that on to, you know, whoever's around. But I never really wanted to be a teacher. You know, for so many reasons, obviously. I do respect the heck out of teachers, but it's not something that I actually want to do. It's just something that I was thinking I could do as a means of, you know, doing other things with my free time when I had it. So it seemed to make the most sense at the time when I was younger. So whenever anyone would ask, I would kind of just default to, oh, teacher, I'm gonna be a teacher. So yeah, that was my life. Let me see. So Joe plays with dead things. At Joanna Prototype asked, what mythical creature would you have as a pet? Okay. So like when we're talking mythical creatures, are you talking like everything that's technically a myth as far as we know, like vampires, werewolves, Medusas? I like saying Medusas. I know it's inappropriate and I don't like it. There's some things like I guess it's like it's similar to saying Dracula's, you know, like I recognize that like she's not the only one, you know, baby. It's, you know, but what are you gonna do? So but if we're talking about everything, okay, if I have a pet, it couldn't be something that I know is conscious, so that's tough, right? Like if it's a pet, I don't think it would have to be something like a Cerberus. Like it would have to be something that like, even if it has a personality, it's not something I could hear or like understand. Like I don't know if I can like, because like I couldn't be like, oh, this is my pet vampire. That seems like a slave. Seems inappropriate. Seems a little weird. It's like that's John. Like John is, yeah, he's my pet. I feed him blood sometimes. It feels weird. It feels wrong. I probably shouldn't do it. I don't think it's good. Then again, I don't know. Maybe I can give him the life that he's always wanted. Nope, that's wrong. That's a wrong perspective to have as far as pet ownership. Joanna, what are you getting me into here? No, but like it would have to be something that's unconscious. It would have to be something that's like a phoenix. That would be a good one because like, do phoenix ever die? Because like one of the worst things about having a pet is the pet eventually dies. So it's like, you know, the pet does, and you're just like, now I'm gonna be sad forever, forever, forever. So Phoenix is a good one. I don't really love birds though. I don't love like the squawking of birds. Like I see like a dichotomy between like lizards, like reptilians, and like birds, like avian creatures and such. But like, and like I want to imagine like, oh, there's like this like angelic versus demonic like dichotomy, but like I hate like the sounds that they make and like the squawks and such. Too much, not for me, not for this guy. Can't differentiate. Like I no thanks, no thanks. So like no bird stuff. So Phoenix would be out, even though like, also I caught fire this one time. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but yeah, you can. I mean, I don't know. My hand looks pretty good now. You might be able to see some of it, or this one. But anyway, I caught fire once. No big deal. But I wouldn't want to do it again. So maybe no Phoenix. Let me think. Centaur. It's just a dude. He's just like, please let me go. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm afraid I can't do that. You're half horse and I'm just going to ride you. And he's like, don't ride me. It's very embarrassing for all of us. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. Minotaur. Has anyone ever been like a matador for a minotaur? That's kind of cool. Like I'm not like all into like bull riding and such, but like a minotaur might be kind of funny. It might just because it's like he's only like 1/9. He's 1/9 bull. The rest of him is dude. He's 1/9 bull. The rest of him is dude. And you can just mess with him. That's kind of funny. I don't know. I might take it. I might take a minotaur for a pet. I don't know what I'd name him. Max. I'd name him Max. I made my minotaur Max. Because so yeah, I'd have a minotaur named Max. That's what I'd have. I mean, it's standard. That's what everyone would say. Stop it. I'm gonna pause this again. Okay, so Joe at Joanna Prototype also asked, if you had to wear a Halloween costume every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? I find this difficult to not cheat. Like, I feel like what I would choose is probably, like, I would be Adam Brody in any particular movie that he's been in. Like I would probably just be like, I'm gonna find, like, I would be Seth Brendel from The Fly, but, like, pre-transformation. So I'd just be like, I'm gonna wear this, like, weird gray suit or whatever, you know? So it's, like, I'd probably cheat. However, if I had to be like, I'm going to be a specific Halloween costume, like what you would find at like a Spirit Halloween or something. Good question. Gomez Addams. I would go like for the rest of my life. Like if I had to choose, if you're like, man, you have to choose something at Spirit Halloween, I'm going to be Gomez Addams the rest of my life. And people are going to be like, there's that Gomez Addams guy. And be like, yes, I do have this. Like, yes, I am. That's the only facial hair I can grow. Baby is a little like, you're Morticia. You know, like that's me. Why would it not be me? It's probably he is my Patronus. So anyway, Gomez Addams. Joe also asked, if a wizard told you he could give you the ability to fly, but you had to have bat wings instead of arms forever, would you do it? No, I wouldn't. As much as like, when I was a kid, I was just like freaking everyone else where I was like, I want to fly. Oh man, it's so cool. As an adult who like considers the reality of that situation, I don't even like going outside. Like I don't travel much. And if I was going to travel, like, do you think like, do I want to flap my wings to like physically exert myself in order to go to the store? No, man, I'm gonna hop in my car. There's no chance I'm gonna I would be exhausted by the time I got there, and then I wouldn't be able to carry my whatever I want, you know. So no, I wouldn't want bat wings. Like I would, if you asked me, would I have like demon wings or like some kind of like wings outside so I could choose to fly? If I was like a Jeepers Creepers situation and I just had wings that sprouted from my back, heck yes, 100% would I would want those wings. They'd mostly be vestigial. They would look cool as heck though. Like I would be like, look at my avatar. Like you guys, like none of you have wings. Check mine out. Yeah. Do I use them? No. Are they exercised? Nah. Am I good at flying? Not even a little. However, I got them and I can if I want. But yeah, no, there's no chance. There's no chance I would like sacrifice my noodle arms for like noodly like demon wings. Like who cares? Like I wouldn't use them enough to justify it. it wouldn't matter. Like I would like flying would be amazing. However, if I have to put in all the work, like if I could Superman fly and I could just be like, I can like control the electromagnetic field around me as I'm lifting off into the nether, like into the atmosphere, like whatever. If I could do that and it was just like a conscious, like I could lift myself consciously, like with my brain power, just like, oh, let me go, let me go. Like that's one thing. If I have to exert the energy and I also have no arms, nah, I think that's not enough. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry, Joe. You're the best, by the way, and I love you, and you're one of my best friends here, and I just appreciate you. So, thanks for asking questions. So, who's next? Let's see. At Honest Passions, hang on. Let me see. At Honest Passion 13, Adeline asked. What's the best really horrible movie you've ever seen that you found good because of how horrible it was? Honestly, I mean, like the most basic answer is going to be Troll 2, and it's just true, is the thing. Troll 2 is the most rewatchable, hilarious, bad movie ever made. I know people are going to be like Birdemic or Manos Hands of Fate or, like what, like, The Room and all these other movies. Troll 2 is hilarious. It is, if you are of a certain age, which I was when I watched the movie, it's actually a bit creepy. It's actually a bit weird. It's like unsettling in a way because you watch these creatures, these goblins eat a child's parents. It's all very like, ugh, like there's a lot to it that's upsetting if you're not of the the maturity level to watch it. However, if you are old enough to see how ridiculous it is and how just like absurd the entire movie is, it is the funniest, most poorly acted, ridiculous, and hilariously directed movie ever made. Like it is ill-conceived from the very beginning and in the best way possible. And everyone should watch Troll 2. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Also, if you haven't seen it and you haven't seen Best Worst Movie, go watch that. Best Worst Movie, the documentary, is hilarious. I'm pretty sure there's a whole Twitter based on it and everything, but that movie has some of the greatest performances that any indie horror movie has ever had in the best/worst way possible. But it's 100% worth watching no matter what. So even if you've seen it, if you haven't watched it in a while, go rewatch Trolls 2 because it's amazing. Jax, the tiny rapper, who is one of my favorite people on the planet, at Jax2_0, asked a few questions. She asked, "What is your all-time favorite horror movie?" I'm gonna go with Evil Dead 2. I honestly can't. I can also say there's Reanimator, Monster Squad. I also have The Thing up here. Return of the Living Dead is very high on that list. My problem with horror is I prefer when things don't take themselves too seriously or have like some ambiguity in them. Like The Thing is probably, truthfully, one of my favorite movies of all time, if not, yeah, like favorite horror movies, if not favorite movies of all time. But like, as far as like experience is concerned, like I can watch The Thing endlessly, just like many other movies. Just like Jaws is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. But there's like a certain type of horror movie where I'm like Evil Dead 2 is. I mean, where is it? I'm sorry, I'm like drinking. But I have this Evil Dead tattoo because I love the Evil Dead films. I do. It's not why I got the tattoo, but that's not one of the questions. I'm not going to answer it, so too bad. But yeah. So like Evil Dead 2, like chainsaw arm monsters, demons / like zombie feeling creatures. I'm all about those Kandarian demons, so I'm gonna go with Evil Dead 2, even though. Yeah, no, I'll go with Evil Dead 2. I have a lot of answers. It's very hard for me, obviously. If you like look at my wall, you can see like Lost Boys. Like I don't even know if I consider Lost Boys a horror movie, though. Yeah, like there are obviously horror elements to it and there's supernatural elements to it and such, but like it's still like an adventure movie, so it's hard. I don't know. Like genre is very tricky for me, but I would go with Evil Dead 2. Let me see what's next. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die before I was 20. Like I never really thought about it. Like when I did think about it, it was always like I wanna write stuff. I wanna make movies. That's always what I wanted to do. Like growing up, I wanted to make movies. That's all I ever wanted to do was be a director. That's actually why I got this tattoo, which I said I'm not gonna answer because no one asked. But like the reason I got this, like the reason Evil Dead is so important to me is because when I was a kid, I would endlessly watch movies. I would go to I would go to the I go to Blockbuster or whatever the like video rental stores were in the area. Like we had a million, just like everyone else. Like if you were watching this, I'm sure you remember having like 6 different rental stores where you have like the Hollywood Video and the Blockbuster and the I always like the indie ones, like the weird little cheesy ones where like the uncomfortable, awkward dudes who watched way too many movies but enough movies. To like just work at a video store forever. And like anyway, so like, but that was my life growing up, is I would just like hop, like I'd go video store hopping and I would ask for posters and I would like love movies. But there was, for some reason, I don't know what it was, like I would watch everything. Like I remember watching like Halloween and watching like Psycho and watching The Exorcist and watching It and watching, like I remember all of these movies, and like not just horror movies obviously, but I would watch everything. And like I started watching like Akira Kurosawa movies like really young for some reason. Like I remember watching Seven Samurai when I was super young for some reason, but for some reason, like when I was that age, it rang so true to me for no reason. Like not like oh, I know everything there is to know about samurai culture. Like no, but for some reason, like in my head, it was a documentary. Like every movie I watched was real. Like everything I watched, and not necessarily that I believed it was all true, but like there was a part of me that believed that what I was watching was real life that was just documented somehow. And I don't know, like I just never, I never really was consciously aware of it or considered it until I watched Evil Dead. And like I watched Evil Dead, and when I did, I watched that movie and I thought to myself, who made this? Like what is this? This isn't real. Who made this? What happened? Um so I learned all about Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and like them loving the Three Stooges and making all of their like slapstick short films and everything, and then going to dentists and finding the producers, and like I did everything I could in like the early version of the internet to like find out how these movies were made. And I was freaking fascinated. Like I was just I was like in love with those stories, you know. Like all of film, I was just so I was just like imbibing, like just like consuming as much as I could. Like I would watch every movie with commentary on, like every Kevin Smith movie, every Richard Linklater movie, you know, like everything I could get where I'm just like, this feels like a thing that I could do in my life. And so like I would just consume it. So it's just, that was what I wanted to do more than anything, was make movies. And when I was a kid, I started writing movies. I wrote my first screenplay when I was like 16 or 17, and I remember trying to make a movie with my friends, and just it went so poorly because I mean for many reasons, you know. I mean, you know, if you've ever met a teenager, you know, it's just like imagine a random teenager and being like, "Hey, do you want to be on camera?" And they're like, "Yeah, I do." And they, you know, but of course, this is before everyone knew they could become famous if, you know, a few thousand people liked them or whatever. But it was just, you know, like getting a bunch of people to be in front of the camera reading lines that you wrote was really cool as a kid. But also everyone, like no one took it seriously, and everyone just like laughed and like couldn't get through the lines in the way that felt that like validated me or made me feel like it was like a worthwhile project. So I eventually just lost faith that I could do it. You know, it was just one of those, like I couldn't find people who believed in me enough, so I stopped believing in myself, which is sad. And you know, um so I started writing comic books, and I started, you know, like I started creating things that I knew I could make by myself, and just relying on myself as much as I could. Which I know is a little sad, but I'm also drinking, and that's part of it. So stop it. Stop judging me. But it's true. So I started making things that I knew I could make. So I wrote comic books, and I met Steven, and you know, like Steven liked to draw, and I felt like I could count on him to care about something and do the work and be, you know, progressive in some way. So I you know, I started writing comics, and I gave them to him, and then I, you know, at the same time I was like, I want to write things for myself. So I started writing like stories, like short stories, and you know, I started writing a book. So I wrote a book. I did all of that, but like it's all just like little concessions that I've made along the way. after realizing how difficult it is to get your close teenage friends to make a movie. So at some point I would like to make a movie in my life. I think I can do it. I still think I can do it. I think I have it in me and I'd like to. Um but yeah, it's just not something that I've ever really revisited since I was a kid, just because, bad experiences and such. So Jax also asked, what's your biggest fear? My biggest fear since having a child is just something bad happening to my child. I just that's right off the bat, top of my head, always what's going to be my answer. I have no other fear. My only other fear after that is I really have no fears. I don't care. I don't care about very much. You know what? I'll tell you, a couple of my real biggest fears is I'm afraid that people are gonna misinterpret me. That's the only time that trolls bother me, is where I feel I'm you so didn't understand what I was trying to say and what I was attempting to communicate, that you defined me in this different way that isn't at all what I wanted people to see of me, and I guess I feel that way wholesale about my whole life, where I'm just I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to do the right things. I'm trying to be a good dad and be a good writer and learn and evolve, and I'm trying to live a human life and not just find myself on the top of a mountain being this pretentious ideologue or whatever, just where I'm just no, I'm self-righteous and I don't have to face anything, so it's easy to shake my fist at everyone who's living a life. I'm trying to just be here now and live in the freaking flesh that I have and do what I can with what I have where I am, and it's not always freaking easy, and I'm trying, and yeah, I get scared that people are going to misinterpret my intention or think that I'm a bad person because I make little mistakes, or I have faith in the wrong things sometimes, or I try to, I don't know. I'm trying to be a human person. So I guess my biggest fear is to find something that I'm not, is all. And I feel that's really easy these days. So that. But otherwise, it's just my son. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, and I think about that and I'm scared. And please don't let anything bad happen to my son. That's pretty much it. Okay, next. Sorry, I don't I mean, if it's an ask me anything, am I supposed to be honest? I'm gonna be honest, right? That's what we're doing here. That's the whole point. I'm almost done with this, by the way. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so Real Michael Rib asks, what are your favorite three? Come on, Michael. But what are your favorite 3 comic book arcs before your adult lives, and why? I'm not gonna go with arc. I'm sorry, I know that's your question, but okay, before my adult life, the only arcs that come to mind that I read before I would consider myself an adult would be the Cable Deadpool, X-Men, the Uncanny X-Force X-Men, the Uncanny X-Force, Cable Deadpool, and full arc that I read before I was an adult, Preacher. That was, as far as reading before I was an adult, those were 3 that I was just these are somewhat instrumental in my reading as a comic book reader. These are things that were very important to me. These are things that I loved. These are things that each had characters that I was just enamored with. That being said, as far as the average person's experience with comic books is concerned, I did not experience it in the way that a lot of people did. I had my cousin Gary, as a child. If you can see this here, I'll turn my screen a little bit so you can see it. This thing, my cousin Gary drew this thing right here. What it is myself, my aunt, my uncle, and my cousin all basically being Ghostbusters and fighting all of the pop culture stuff that you can imagine, just a pastiche of pop culture stuff coming at us. He drew this amazing thing, and the reason he drew it is because that was what my life was. As a child, I used to go to the bowling alley. As a child, a very young child, I would go to the bowling alley. My cousin would give me these comic books, and it was just so instrumental. Like it just like it makes me emotional. I'm also a little drunk. But like it was so instrumental for me growing up to read like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Hellblazer, and fucking like he taught me what Madman was. Like I'm getting emotional now. Stop it. That's not your question. I shouldn't have answered a question you didn't ask, and this is on me. No, but like the truth is, I would go to the bowling alley and he would teach me all this stuff. He would show me things, and not all of it would stick. You know, it's just like some things people people show you, and you're like, that's not particularly for me. Most of what he would show me was like, this is going to define the rest of my life in some significant way, and that's like amazing, because I didn't know I was ready for this, and like here I am like reading this thing, and like I'm absorbing all this in a way that I'm just thankful, you know. But as a kid, I would just like, I'd take all those books and I would read everything my cousin would give me, and I would just like, some of it would be so meaningful to me, and that's why like I ended up with a Madman tattoo, where it's just like, here's this book that is full of ridiculousness and silliness and just like this, like the general absurdity, but also tackling these existential issues in a meaningful way while being funny and ridiculous and irreverent, and it meant everything to me. But yeah, so I didn't really have like arcs that were important to me, because I didn't really care. I didn't really care about Marvel or DC, or you know, like, and like that stuff all became like, some of it's important to me, you know, in the long run. I've read a lot of it, but it wasn't as significant to me or instrumental to me as I was growing up, because I was just thankful and lucky enough to have someone who threw things at me and like was just like throwing things at the wall of my like personal palette enough so some of it would stick, and I'm just thankful for that. Anyway, what's next? Liz Wrights asked, you get to marry a famous person, who are you marrying? Okay, Stephen Todd, obviously. No. Okay, so my two, let me think. If I'm going to answer this, I'm going to say probably Kat Dennings, but she's taken, so I'm not going to answer Kat Dennings. Excuse me. Let me see if I'm gonna find her name, and I'll edit this part out. Okay. So Liz Wrights asked, you get to marry a famous person, who are you marrying? My standard answer is usually Kat Dennings, but I'm gonna say, because she's taken and I don't know the status of this other person, I'm gonna say Milena Vaintraub. Milena Vaintraub, the AT&T girl who was recently in the what's the movie called? Hang on. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say Milena Vaintraub, who was recently in Werewolves Within, by Josh Rubin. That movie was great. It was fun. It was amazing. But she is beautiful. She's adorable. I don't know much about her, but if I feel like I don't know. I just like looking at her. She's beautiful. I don't know. I like, what do you want from me? I'm gonna be very. I like who do you get to like, if I have to marry a famous person, I'm gonna go with someone who I think is like the like super cutest person in the world, and it's her. Like, she is. If I can't marry, like, Kat Dennings is taken. Like, I feel like we get along and we'd have like a great relationship. But like, she's taken. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna hate myself here. So not her. Milena Vaintraub. I'm gonna marry her. So thanks for that. David R.A. asked, if you could travel through time, which era would you visit? Oh man, I'd probably go to the future. I'd probably go like way in the future, like ridiculously in the future, just to see what we do. Honestly, I imagine that your question was probably like which era in the past would I visit, and like that's fine. Now I'll get there as well. But like, no, I like my answer would be in the future. Like I would go like ridiculously in the future, not like a little bit. I'd be like, let me see like. I'm gonna say like at least 4,000, you know, like 4,021. Like let's just like jump forward that amount of time, just to see where humans are, if we still exist, if we're still doing anything, if we become like the Wally, like corpulent like astronauts that we could be, if we meet our potential. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, like eras as far as like the past is concerned, like we've already lived. If I could time travel in the past, I would. I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that would love to see Jaws in theaters. Like, same with Star Wars. Like, I'm not even a big Star Wars guy. I like I've just never been like I don't care. Not like I have nothing against Star Wars. I like it still means something to me. I still get goosebumps when I hear the Star Wars music. I have an attachment to that, like, you know, that series. But I don't know, like there's something about I like seeing those movies in theaters when they first came out would just I know that would be amazing. It was like something about that would be incredible. Like seeing any movie the opening night is one thing, but seeing movies that like we know have the like staying power, but also just like world changing like greatness within them. It's just I don't know, like just I would like to see something so significant like that. I would also like to see just like the rockabilly era. I'd like to see James Brown. Oh my god, if I could see freaking James Brown. Are you kidding me? That would be amazing to see like Little Richard or James Brown. Holy crap. Like if I could see like oh man, that'd be so good. If I could see like the Big Bopper, James Brown, Little Richard, like Richie Valens, like if I could see like the rock, like early rock and roll stuff, oh, freak yeah, like that would be amazing. I can't like, what would be better than that as far as the history? Like, oh, like people who are like shaking their like the social world with music at the time, but also just like being freaking cool. Like, ah man, I don't know. Like that's I would go back then. I would see all like the early rock and roll stuff and just like enjoy it all. Like or like David Bowie stuff. Like, oh man, there's so many cool things I would see. Obviously, there's a lot of bad stuff. I wouldn't experience any of it because well, I like I forget when it was. When did they burn Italian people? It's like when was America just like, oh, you're not white enough? But I wouldn't go that far. It's like and it's pretty good. Like most of the time, I'd be fine. I'd be fine most of like I could just lie. I am lie. I could pass. Like get out of here. What are you like? I like if Little Richie is around, I'm fine. Trust me. But yeah, I'd probably I don't know. Like if I had to choose a time, it'd probably be then. It'd probably be like to go see like that'd be neat. Like I don't really care about Elvis, but like that era would be cool to go see. Like when the Beatles first came to America would be neat for sure. All right, let me pause. Thanks. All right, Liz Wrights also asked, "Are you more of a Chandler, Ross, or Joey?" I, I mean, I feel like a mixture between Ross and Chandler. I'm not as bad as Ross, but I'm not as like. Are you like? Could I be any worse? Like I'm not really that version of sarcastic. I have like a different version of like sardonic humor or whatever. And like I don't know. Like I have like a ridiculous like I have humor in me. Like I'm not a paleontologist. But like I do like go spelunking through time. Like I'm a time archaeologist. I don't know. I don't know what to. I don't know. I don't really feel like I don't strongly identify with any of those characters. I'm definitely not a Joey. I do like to act. I'm not good at it. I like it though. It's not something I've ever tried to do in front of people. But like I like to act. I don't know if I feel like I could be in a soap opera. Why would I not? I'm Dr. Drake Ramore. Was that his name? I think I got it. Did I get it? I don't know. I'm not gonna Google it. You can Google it. I don't really care. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, I'd be a different like comment. I'm Chan Ross. I'm Chan Ross. Rossler. I'm Rossler is what I am. Okay. Adeline asks, What's the craziest thing you've ever considered getting a tattoo of, and where would you get it? I used to want. There's this thing from Madman Odyssey where it's like there's like this border at the end, like bottom of the page. I always wanted it around my wrist, but like I don't really want it. But like as a child, I was like, oh man, that's what I want around my wrist. I want that. I want all those stars and like squiggles and all this stuff. Like that's the. Otherwise, like the only things I've ever wanted are these two things. I don't really have other things that I think about very well. Like I don't. What else would I get? I don't know. I'd probably get some movie tattoos, like things from various films, because obviously I like movies. But I'm not sure what. Like I have considered getting all of the Monster Squad tattoos, like all of the Monster Squad characters on my arm. I'd put it on this arm, like right here. But like that's pretty much. I would get it right here, and I would get all of the Monster Squad versions of the classic monsters from the from the film / Universal monsters. Like like the Monster Squad versions have always been my personal favorite because that's what I grew up with and what I honestly just like what I still appreciate and prefer aesthetically. So that's probably what I would get. Let me see. Joanna Prototype again asked, if you could spend a day with a fictional character, who would you choose and what would you do together? It's hard to not say like Doctor Who. Like I'm not even a big Doctor Who fan, but I'm just like I would. You know what though? You know what? I'm gonna say Bill and Ted because I want to go time travel. Like I would like if I could spend a full day with these people and we could do whatever we want. I'm gonna go time travel and I'm gonna do whatever I can with that photo booth. And I'm gonna be like, or phone booth, not photo booth. Photo booth. I'm drunk. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I failed myself. I failed you, past Anthony of 3 seconds ago. It's okay, past Anthony. Or it's okay. Yeah. But anyway, so I would go with the phone booth, Bill and Ted situation. I would go Bill and Ted all day because I mean they're fun and ridiculous. I would teach them not to say the F word because like I mean, you know what F word I'm talking about. Not the F word, but like come on guys. Like we were so Bill and Ted is so close to just being a classic timeless movie, and there are just a few things in it where it's like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you choose that line? You could have done anything else, and it's so unfortunate for everyone involved. However, I would choose Bill and Ted. Let me see. Wednesday this asked, if you had to live anywhere but Florida, where would it be? Oh boy, if I had to, like if you were like, oh, take this and you can go anywhere you want, I'd like, I don't know, a different country probably. But then I don't know French. I don't want my son to have to learn French, but like my first thought was like Italian or French, but like Italy or France, but I was like, est-ce que vous comprenez l'anglais? Like I don't like. What do you like? Je ne comprends pas le français, mais je comprends pas. Like I don't know. I know a lot of French. I know a little bit. Not enough. But I don't really know much about the rest of the the U.S. of states. The U.S. of America. So I'm just like I don't like what seems like a decent place to live. It has to be somewhere that's not like overly ridiculously populated to the point where it's like obnoxious. Like I don't want to live in a metropolitan city. Like I don't want to live in a place where it's just like hustle and bustle like crazy all the time. Like, but I also don't want to live in a place that like thinks it's still like a footloose place where I'm like I'm gonna have to be the one to tear down the city with my sweet dance moves. I don't know. So it does feel like all of my knowledge of the United States comes from the very little travel I've done and movies. So I'm just like I don't know. I would probably move to somewhere. Honestly, if I could move anywhere, if you're telling me like I can't live in Florida, I'd probably move somewhere in Canada. I'd probably go somewhere in Canada that's like not too much of like hustle bustle city, but also not too much of like Letterkenny country. So I'm just like, like it'll be fun. But I'm not sure. I've never really like I don't as a person who grew up with not much, I've never really considered traveling. I don't really consider like it doesn't occur to me that moving or going anywhere is an option, especially now I'm a single parent. I'm just like my son's mom doesn't see him very much, but even so I wouldn't take him from her. I wouldn't like make a choice to be like, you can never see your mother, like that's just like I don't know, like I don't know. It's just not in me, so I don't consider that stuff very often. I'm sorry. So Andrew at that one author, which is like honestly pretty good. I like that one author. I mean, it's not like the best name, but I'm saying like I'm surprised he got it. He's that one author. But Andrew Locke asked, what's your guiltiest pleasure song to jam out to in the car? So in the car, I specifically I almost exclusively sing like Coheed and Cambria, Saves the Day, Bayside. Like I sing things that I'm just like I really enjoy singing. I don't have a lot of like guilty pleasures, but you know what? Like there are a lot of songs that like I do love singing. Like I love singing Aha's "Take on Me" in the car. I don't like Andrew. I'm not here to shame anyone. I never will, but I will tell you 100% that I have no guilt. I don't care. I will sing whatever I want forever. I don't feel guilty pleasure stuff. I like if I want to sing Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus, I'm like that's a freaking banger. Like I'm not like I don't even, like I growing up I was like I don't like this Hannah Montana situation. Like I don't like what she's doing with her eyeballs and she's being very disrespectful. Like in my head I had all kinds of judgments for things. But my butt and my foot and things that move and tap, like they don't feel any of those judgments, and they just like there's like when fireworks, when Katy Perry comes on, I will sing the crap out of that. When Adele comes on, like I will sing the crap out of that. Like I have no shame in my singing game. I will 100% like forever feel that way, and like I wish everyone would feel that way. Like I don't really have guilty pleasures. I have like pleasures, and I'm good with them. But like I sing a lot. Like I love singing. I'm not great at it. I feel like I've gotten better over the years at like understanding how voices work and how my voice works in particular. But yeah, I don't have any of those guilty pleasures. I just have like pleasures, and I will sing everything. Okay, let's see. Andrew also asked, "Oh, if you could take one friend from Twitter besides Steven, of course, to a safe zone in the apocalypse, who would it be and why?" Paige. Like Paige has been like she's just someone like Paige K. Turner is someone who's always been supportive of us. She's always been someone who's there when we need or want anyone, or just there to be there, and that's I mean it's like consistent enough to feel real, and not everything's consistent enough to feel real. Some things just like are consistent, but like you've been in my Chirpty circle for a couple of months, but like would you be there in the apocalypse? I don't know, but like I feel like Paige probably would. So yeah, I'll say her. What's next? Chris asked, C Mag Storyteller asked, what are your top 3 Coheed and Cambria songs and why? Holy crap. That's hard. That's really hard. First of all, I only know some song titles. I'm really bad with that. I will just like sing songs otherwise. But like what's the one that goes, "Oh, non-believers stand aside in fear." Like that one? Like is it Gravediggers? That one? Also man, it's so hard. I have so many in my head right now. I'm not gonna play them. I have a guitar. But like the June song Provision has always been a really important song. And the why of it is just the way it makes me feel in the moment and the way that I enjoy singing it in the car. Like that's always my answer. As far as Coheed and Cambria, it is not the lyrical content, because for the most part they're excuse me. Oh. But for the most part, Coheed and Cambria is a concept band. Like they create concept albums, and their songs are all very tethered to the story and the narrative that they've created, and as such they aren't necessarily as personal to me as a lot of songs would be. However, that being said, I will sing the heck out of their songs. The Shuddering is very important to me. I feel that freaking song. like the shuddering, the suffering. I'm sorry. The suffering is very important to me. Like, I will sing the heck out of that song. I will like play drums in my car constantly and just like let loose the hounds of my steering wheel. Like, I'm not interested in this moment. I'm holding the steering wheel because I have drums to play. But like, like there's so many Cody and Cambria songs that I just freaking love so much. But yeah, June Song of Provision, the Grave Digger song, and the Suffering are probably like top 3 for me. But I have so many. Like, In Keeping Secrets is like the end of In Keeping Secrets. Like, I get full body goosebumps and I can't stop them. Like, they just like they show up and I'm just like, this is what I look like now. Like, if anyone looks at me, it's just like, I'll take my shirt, like the goosebumps. Like, I'm just like R.L. Stine to all the way, like head to toe when like the OOOs come out. And it's just like, when I saw them live, it was just my whole body was feeling it. It was just like, I haven't been that happy in a long time. It was amazing. But yeah. Vicurian asks, I was hoping you would drunkenly answer questions live. You know what? Not fair. That's fine. Like, why would I do this live? Like, it's gonna take me like forever. I don't want to hear negative people. That's what it is. Like, I will post this, I'll throw it up, and if people want to thumbs down it, they can thumbs down it. But I don't want in real time to have to feel the sinking feeling that happens when someone's like, you suck or you're boring or whatever, like whatever trolls want to say. Like, that's not fair. Like, why would you even want anyone to go through that? Like, if I'm consciously having to pay attention to someone in the moment, then like, those bad people are going to show up. Those people who like are just ill-intended, or just like all they care about is like riling you up emotionally, and like they show up and they ruin the night. Like, who wants to deal with that? I don't. So like, I'm comfortable right now. Like, right now I'm in my room. I can do whatever I want. I can drink a beer. I can burp. I can like, it doesn't matter. So like, why isn't this better? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Vicurian, but this is better and it's smarter, and I appreciate what I'm doing, and I think it's the right thing to do. And sorry. Katie Conwell asked, if you and Steven had to pick a favorite person, who would it be, and why would it be me? Okay, so my favorite person clearly would be Katie Conwell. I would pick her because she asked this question, and it would be weird to say anyone else at this point. I would like, why would I do that? But yeah, my favorite person on Twitter is probably Katie Conwell. She's fantastic. She's going to have a podcast called Forced Friendship or Forced Friends. I forget, and I'm sorry, but also I have excuses. That's my podcast. It's We Have Excuses. All right, let me see. So, Jess at Jess_Axela asked, favorite female X-Men character, comic not movies, and why? If you can't decide between Rogue and Jean, Dark Phoenix, I'll forgive you. First of all, Kitty Pryde is my answer. Kitty Pryde is always my answer. If you watch previous episodes, you'll notice that like when I have to just come up with a character, it's Kitty Pryde. Like, I think about Kitty Pryde all the time because I, as a writer, think that she's the strongest character in the world. Like, there's nothing more valuable than being literally untouchable to me. Like, to me, as a person who has been hurt in the past, like many of you can probably identify with, and like resonate with in some way. The idea to allow people to phase through you and literally not be able to cause bodily harm to you or any harm to you, like you don't phase me, is a very powerful mutant power to have. And I think that I believe Kitty Pryde. Sorry, Jack, but I believe Kitty Pryde is one of the most exceptional characters, and like has the most potential of any X-Men out there that exists. Of course, you can do anything with any X-Men. That's just that's just how it is. Like, if you give me any mutant, I can make it incredible. And like, I'm sure that anyone who gets to write the X-Men, is just thankful that they get to play in that particular sandbox. But like, yeah, I would choose Kitty Pryde forever. Otherwise, if I'm going between Rogue and Dark Phoenix, like you created that false dichotomy, Jess, I'm sorry, but like, how dare you create this situation for me and make me choose? No, I'm kidding. I've never liked the Dark Phoenix situation. Like, I appreciate like thematically what they're going for. I appreciate subtextually what they can play with as far as like what that character is capable of and like what it can represent. That being said, don't freaking care. I don't care. I'm so sick of Jean Grey. Like, I don't like growing up. I was so sick of that character. I loved Rogue. Like, Rogue was awesome. Rogue was my favorite type of character because like she embodies everything that I love. Like, she's incredibly ultimately powerful, but also like unflinchingly, unforgivably, unflappably human. Like, she is someone who's just like, she is such this like Southern Belle awesome badass character, who is unfortunately slash fortunately gifted with this like immense ability to literally like take lives and literally take lives. And it's just like you can do so much with that character, and it's wonderful. And she's just so well rounded and beautiful, and I just appreciate Rogue for everything she is. Whereas Jean Grey, I feel like is like has a similar potential every character does. Like any writer can make any character good, but like historically speaking, like writing, like watching those things and reading those things as a kid and like growing up with that stuff, I was so bored with Jean Grey and everything they chose to do with her, that like the thematic stuff, and they like, you know, like even though like being reborn or feeling like too much or be feeling like all of those themes, as much as they are significant and interesting and like are meaningful to me in some way, were just overwhelming as a kid. And I was just like, this is, and the way they were telling it was just so boring to me. And I was just like, I can't care less about this right now. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with like between those two, Rogue forever. I'm sorry, slash how I feel. Okay, let me see. So Kay Olivar says or asks, what's the weirdest thing you've searched up while writing? So I have emailed the people from Mythbusters about like the combustibility of flour and the ability to like whether or not it can cause like, you know, bodily harm with the flames and how you put it out. And like I remember emailing them while I was slightly intoxicated once, but I have, man, while writing, I don't know, like I have Google's, like I have searched just like everyone else, like I have searched things about vampires. Like I've searched like how much blood you have in your body, like how long it takes to bleed out in various ways, and like I've searched those things. I don't even like consider that stuff. I think the weirdest thing I like, no, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but now that I've said it, I have to, because that's just the rule of being a person. Like, right, like once you start saying like, there's this one time, oh wait, I can't talk about it, you have to talk about it. So I'll tell you, there was this one time where my ex's son was about 12 years old. Very standard stereotypical 12-year-old situation, where I walked past his room. I walked past his room, door was open, like wide open, and like, you know, you like in my peripheral, I see him, and I glance over and I see him touching stuff, doing things. He was doing boy things, you know, he's doing things. And I was like, oh no, I have to address this. I have to immediately, and so I was like, I have to be a person. Oh no, I have to be an adult. So I went on the computer, and like I started typing up like, you know, and you know, you Google stuff where you're like, you don't type in like full questions, you just type in like the sentence where it's like if you want to know like how long a Wolverine's like talons are, you don't type over like how long are Wolverine's talons. You just type in like Wolverine talon length or something like that, you know. So like I like started typing in 12-year-old boy touching him and like stopped, and I was like, whoa, never do that. I was like, that was a mistake, like holy crap. And I didn't hit enter, and like thankfully, but like I feel like my NSA agent was like, ooh, close call, bro, like that was real close to you having like people ascend like from like descend from the ceiling. Like people are gonna drop in on you and be like, you're in trouble, and I'm like, I didn't mean it, I was just trying to be a parent. And like it was, whew, but like close call. I was like, I didn't actually Google search technically because like I never hit enter, but like I did type in a whole sentence before it even occurred to me that it was like, this could be taken poorly. But like, whew. Anyway, so next. So Addie says, let me see. Adeline Addie says, I think I already gave you a bunch of questions. Blah, blah, blah. Are you prepared to awkwardly? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna enter, like, get this out. No, dang it. Hang on. I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. Let me see. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to edit so much of this. Yeah. Why have you asked for me? Spare conveyor. Hang on. Where am I? I'm like right here, I think. I'm sorry, past or future Anthony. I'm sorry. All right. So Paige K. Turner asks, if you could switch two movie characters to make the most awkward movie ever, what movie characters would it be? Okay. My first thought was Danny DeVito. I don't know like what I'm gonna put him in, but like I feel like putting Danny DeVito in any part would just be weird. You know, it'd be kind of funny though. I don't know about awkward, but like I want to put Andre the Giant in Mrs. Doubtfire, or like, oh man, so many people in Miss Doubtfire would be really funny and inappropriate. But like, I mean, there are just some people you put in Miss Doubtfire, and it's just like I don't think that works. I think everyone knows that you're you, like that you're failing. But Robin Williams was so beautiful and wonderful. What would make the most awkward movie? Okay, if you put, all right, instead of. It's just so weird. Like you can put, it's so easy to do anything really. Like if you put like Samuel L. Jackson is Freddy Krueger, like it's funny. Like you can't. We got to stop these people from dreaming. I can't. Samuel L. Jackson as Freddy Krueger would be so good though. I'm Freddy fucking Krueger. Okay, anyway. But there's so many good ones, Paige. It's like, what would make it awkward? I don't know. Like, if you put, okay, you, like, I think, like, an age change would be real weird. Like, if you were, like, okay, like, if you change, Michael Cera in Scott Pilgrim to Jack Nicholson, that's weird. Like, I have to fight your 7 evil exes. It's just like, what? It's so weird. It's just awkward. Like it wouldn't work at all. Like he's a great actor, but there's no chance he'd pull it off. Like because of the age thing, and it's just, like it's too weird. It doesn't work. Anyway, Paige also asked, when you inevitably get famous, what epic way are you going to quit your job? Okay. First of all, thank you for believing in us, Paige. Second of all, I will 100%. This is what I plan on doing, and I've always planned on doing this. I'm like, I will always do this. I will like, this is what's going to happen in my life. I'm gonna work until I get fired. I'm not gonna quit my job. But what I'm going to do is every time a customer says something and I have a response to it, I'm gonna say the thing I want to say. Like once I am like, if I get to a point where I'm like, I no longer need this job, I'm not gonna quit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work that job at the best of my ability. But every time a customer says something that's inappropriate or ridiculous or just terrible, I'm going to respond in a way that I would normally want to respond as a human person. So when I say something, I get to, as a rich person who no longer needs a job, I get to say, excuse me, sir and or ma'am, do you understand that what you're saying is absolutely absurd and that I'm a human person, that this is just a retail job and that the thing that you're saying right now is just insane to be saying to me? Like I just want to be able to say the things, because right now as it stands I need my job, you know, to be a person, a human in society. I need my job still, unfortunately. Like I'm working toward it. I have my Patreon and my books and my t-shirts and my, like, I'm trying to like not need a human retail job anymore. I'm trying, but I'm not there yet, and because of that I still need to tolerate these things sometimes, and these things are just, these evil people come in, they're just like rude, you know, like when you're like, hello, how are you today, and they're like, and they just completely ignore you. I want to be able to say, excuse me, I just said a thing to you. You don't have to tell me how you are. Be like, at the very least, be like, hi, or like respond in some way. You're not a person who like you can completely hear me. You're like and you can't just look at me and be like, give me coupons. Like it's rude. Like it was incredibly rude. Like how are you doing this? How are you alive? Like what is this part? How did you make it this far? If we were standard, like if we were if we had a survival of the fittest situation, which like of course we do, but I mean like survival in so much as like I'm allowed to hurt you in some way, like not that I want to, but like I want to shank you a little. Like what are we doing here? Like the retail is terrible. Like it's a monster of a situation. So like just being there and seeing the worst of society, like I would love to shake up like the worst versions of people, like the inconsiderate monsters of the world. I'd like to shake a bit and just be like, hey, we're human. Stop. You know, and like I do every once in a while when I can, but like I can't rock the boat as much as I want. I'm a single dad. I have to like live a life anyway. But that's what I'd do. I'd quit. I'd make them fire me by saying everything I've ever wanted to say. What is the most old person thing you do? Shake my fist at freaking everything all the time. I'm just like freaking like all the time. I just like I don't. The most old person thing I do, Paige, is I don't care at all about any new thing. Like any music, I don't freaking care. I don't care. Like not that I'm not against it. I'm not like like that's super old person, but like I don't care. Like I let myself fall off the radar as far as pop culture is concerned because I don't care. I don't care about any influencer. I don't care about any commercial. I don't care about any BTS or whatever like pop band is like I don't care. I hate everything they want to show me and I shake my cane in the air when they do. Like I don't freaking care about it. And that's the most old person thing I do is like I find everything to be like I'm nihilistic in that like nothing matters as far as the pop culture is concerned and I don't give a crap about their music. Like movies are one thing, books are one thing. As far as like the new pop music is concerned, as far like mainstream situation, like I like no interest. Like none of it resonates with me. I don't freaking care about any of it. I'm like meh, old person. Who would you want to narrate your life? Me. That's my answer. Me, Paige. Otherwise, who would I want to like? The Grubble. I would like I don't know, maybe Plankton. I'm going to get the secret formula of life. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Narrate my life. Who writes my life is the question because like I like who writes versus who narrates is it's like a simpatico like you need a marriage of situations there. If you have someone who's writing and they're like kind of like overly verbose, you know, like obnoxiously loquacious, and then you have like Danny DeVito, it's not gonna work, you know. It's just gonna be a little weird. I don't want to, you know. Oh, but yeah, me. I'm gonna narrate my own life. I like doing voices. I don't love my voice. I don't, you know, I spent most of my life talking to myself, talking to God, talking to the universe, talking to like just speaking aloud and just basically saying like I don't know what my voice sounds like. Like when I was younger, I used to be like, "Oh, you know, man," and like I would just like randomly talk in this like falsetto, you know. I would talk in like a falsetto voice a lot. I would like when like I meet certain like gentlemen or like certain men and be like, yeah, oh yeah, I like, you know, stuff, and I like it's almost like affectation, but at the same point it's like a variation of language, you know, where it's like you recognize like, you know, what people are used to and what people expect, and then you know speak with that voice. But like I've never really known what my voice is until kind of recently, and I kind of embraced the whole spectrum of, you know, absurdity and ridiculousness and silliness that is, you know, this human meat whistle. But yeah, so yeah, me, I would do it. Which Golden Girl would you want to bang the most? You have to pick one. I'll be honest with you, I don't like probably Maud. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't like what like Blanche. Blanche maybe. No, I don't really like that type to be honest with you. Probably Maud. I don't know. I'm not. I don't. So like if you're gonna ask the question, I'm gonna go with Maud, I guess. So all right, let me see who else. Oh, I think that's it. Let me see. I'm gonna pause. Okay, then I have the paranormal. Then I have the paranormal burrito asking me. He says Aaron wants to know how much candy his container can hold. The container is 20 centimeters tall, 10 centimeters long, and 20 centimeters or 10 centimeters wide. What is a container's volume? It's length times width times depth. I'm not gonna do math for you. I'm sorry. But then he asks, "Who is Antoine? Why is Antoine? What is Antoine? Where is Antoine? When is Antoine? Who is Antoine? Who am I? I'm a human. I'm a human person. I'm a human person who struggles through a lot of things that are seemingly, usual, standard fare for most human people. I don't know. I have issues with various things. I try to work through them. I'm someone who like obsesses over philosophy and religion, and I've read the Bhagavad Gita and Plato's Republic a million times each and like I named my son after Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and like, I don't know, like I'm like a whole weird person who does things just like everyone else. Like I'm a person who should be judged by as like an end in of themselves and not a means to an end. I'm a human person who is just like excessively and silly and like excessively complicated and like silly and like an absurd manner, and I don't know. I'm a whole human person is the thing, and that's all. I don't really try to label myself. I don't really care. I don't really care if you call me Anthony. I don't care if you call me Antoine. I don't care if you call me Ant. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about most things. Why is Antoine? Because my parents wanted to have sex, and for whatever reason they didn't believe in abortion, and they had me. That's why. That's why I am. Because I could not be. That's why. What is Antoine? Star stuff. I'm made of the sun. The sun exploded, and as its molecules and photons distributed throughout the solar system, creating mass and matter and planets and such. Eventually, it created this weird, silly goo jelly cephalopod. You don't know what I look like down there. Don't say I'm not a cephalopod. Where was Antoine? I am in Southwest Florida of the United States of the Americas, on the Earth in the Milky Way galaxy. So that's where I am. When is Antoine? Unfortunately, I am a time hopper. I just jump around. I live mostly in the future these days. I spend a lot of time in the past, like 35 years in the past. But I mostly live in the future. I try to live in the present as much as I can, but to be honest with you, I do live a lot in the future. It's pretty much like where I stood, like put my flag, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'll make it here, but like that's where I'd like to be, and that's all I can do. I'm doing my best, and I'm trying. So those are all my questions. So sidetrack. Okay, I drink a lot of beer. I drink a lot of stuff. I don't feel like I've been talking forever, and I'm so sorry. And thank you for anyone who's made it this far. This has had to be the most ridiculous AMA. MMA. I'm gonna flood myself with questions. I'm gonna take those questions and I'll punch the answers out of myself. It's MMA now. Sorry. But yeah, so thank you all. Thank you all for answering questions. Thank you for following me on Twitter or the various social medias. Thank you for just embracing whatever nonsense I am and supporting all of the things that we create. I know that our podcast isn't for everyone, our books aren't for everyone, and nothing is for everyone, but thank you for letting it be for you if it is. Thank you for giving it a chance and trying and giving me a chance. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to all of my rambling and my ranting. This has been Ranthony, does an AMA, Ranthony Rambles. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. And I'll see you on Twitter and talk to me and let me know what you thought of this ridiculousness. And maybe I'll do another one when I get to 20,000. 15,000? I don't know. I didn't expect to get this far. Who am I? Oh, that's amazing. Maybe I'll do a song. But for now, thank you. I love you and goodbye.